Hello everyone, welcome to this week's new live stream, coming to you live from Greece. My name is Patrick Velleman. I'm the community manager for Gate.io, which is the ultimate trading hub for all you traders out there. There's lots of developments this week, things going on, things that have gone on at Gate. Obviously the space is in a little bit of a identity crisis, in the sense that there seems to be a bullish trend, but BTC isn't listening too much to what is going on. A lot of BTC was sold by miners, supposedly. So it didn't manage to break 12K and above, or maintain that trend above. And DeFi in the meantime is, following along with the hype which was going on, a lot of new projects being listed, a lot of things happening with the SUSHI swap token as well. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But overall, it's a tumultuous time. But whenever is it not a quiet time in crypto? There's always something going on. You just have to keep your wits about you and make sure that you do your own research, that you understand what you are reading. Don't take your funds and plump them all into one coin without doing any research, because you will get burnt at some moment in time. What did I want to talk about? I wanted to talk about, how about Mike Novogratz, who is a guy with a big traditional finance background and who has a very clear and outspoken opinion on crypto. Is bearish short term, but still very bullish long term. There's a clickbait article of Forbes where he's being quoted as saying that he no longer believes in Bitcoin, or that he's very pessimistic about the future of Bitcoin. But all he was referring to was about the current DeFi hype which is taking place, the fact that so many coins are being listed, so much liquidity is coming into the market and going out of the market, like all these food tokens which go up to the thousands and then within a few days go down to 90 cents. So these are bearish developments in the sense that it's not positive news, right? It's not positive news for anyone who wants to learn about Bitcoin. You're like, okay, Google Bitcoin, you get into the space, you get into the scene, you start reading more about it, and then you're like, oh, what's this? All these food coins. See, these are interesting tokens and interesting processes for people who know what they're doing. But if you're a newbie or someone who wants to learn about the space, it's not the best. You're not the best introduction, and it's just a lot of fuzz, a lot of distraction, and then you just see scam here and scam there, because these are the words that people are using. So then what do? Yeah, you get out of the space and you open an account at IG Markets or at any other trading platform, eToro, and start to trade general traditional finance, because that's safe. Anyway, that's for Mike Novogratz. We are hovering at the moment above the 10K mark, 10,000. It dipped to 10,080. What time was this? Yeah, about 3 hours ago. So analysts are saying, and I'm talking analysts, I'm talking crypto analysts, right? And if you know who they are, then you know they're either professional or not. But they're saying that if it manages to hold 10K, the level we're at now, things should be fine. If it's not, there might be a further dip. However, there are some people who are saying it'll some significant traders who are saying it's going to go all the way down to 5K, and that the bear market is still alive and kicking. We are still in a bear trend, and it's still going to last. I have no idea. I'm not a trader. I just try to gather some information, from other people who are on the platform, who are using Twitter and have interesting ideas, and then I try to make my own analysis. But generally, long term, I have a lot of conviction, and I'm very positive, and I'm super excited for the future, because there's no reason to assume, with everything that's going on, that the world currency reserve might come to an end soon. And current social unrest on a global level, it's not nice what's going on, but it's a fact, like it's happening right in front of us, which means that deflationary crypto assets such as Bitcoin are very important, and they will prove to be more important in the future, especially once people start to realize that the fiat that they're holding in their hand is worth less than it is a month ago. It's not going to happen that soon, and because generally there's not any hyperinflation like there is in Zimbabwe or Argentina, people don't really register the inflationary flaw of fiat money. But it's something which will take place over time. So Bitcoin over 5 years, 10 years will be super interesting. Next, sushi swap. Nomichef has gotten a lot of backlash for selling a majority stake of his sushi, and at the same time he was morally justifying why he did it, that he announced it, and that it's not a super big deal. So opinions are very varied and they're differing. Everyone's screaming exit scam on Twitter, but that might just be because that's a very clickbaity Twitter tweet to put out, to say that it was a scam. The project is still going. SBF Alameda is taken over the project, so it's been time locked, transitioned over to him. But basically, he created the token on Uniswap and then sold a majority stake, claiming it was his dev share. But that's a dev share of about, I think it was 14 million in ETH. So opinions vary. He got a lot of backlash for it, but he's anonymous, so who really knows and who cares? Preston Byrne was saying he people should file a complaint and people should report it as a criminal act so the FBI can look into it. But these are, of course, very outrageous statements. Who knows who's going to follow up, and how are you even going to get started if it's this anonymous developer created a magic internet money on the internet, and people contributed, people bought, and then bought some more, and then he sold the majority of it. Anyway, good luck with that. So current staking events, that's what I'm going to start with, because that's what I find one of the most interesting features of what we have on our website of gate.io. For those who aren't accustomed to liquidity mining, liquidity mining is a term that's come from DeFi. It's new, which, to put it very simply, it just means that the liquidity you're putting up as a yield farmer, a so-called yield farmer, to look for your yield, to increase your yield, doesn't only give you a return on interest, but it gives you a return of the tokens as well. We are offering liquidity mining at the moment for two very volatile projects, KIMCHI and SUSHI. I believe KIMCHI belongs to Arthur Hayes, but I haven't looked into it properly. But for SUSHI and KIMCHI, because they still exist, there's a floating interest rate of 30 to 200% for KIMCHI, which is huge, of course, and a floating interest rate for 10 to 50% for SUSHI. Polkadot proof of stake mining has sold out. USDT sold out. There's another session which is going to happen tomorrow, where you can stake your coins for 20% annualized return rate, which corresponds to 0.05 interest per day, which may not seem much, but if it compounds over a whole month, that's still a significant amount, and it's always more than you're going to get at the bank, where you get 0.00000001. As for some announcements on Gate, we have finished I think I mentioned this earlier, but I'm going to mention it again for those who don't know. We finished the Guard mainnet token swap. We had stopped Guard trading because they've gone to a mainnet. They've done a mainnet swap. That's been completed. As mentioned, tomorrow there's a weekly hold and earn DeFi special offer for USDT, proof of stake, 7 days, annual interest rate of 20%. We have a new points and GT buyback scheme. It's live. That's a very complex topic, not something I can cover here. So if you would like to know more about our points and GT buyback, I would recommend heading over to gate.io and going over to the announcement section and reading all about it. We've launched listing votes and coins for DeFi Box. That one included a referral airdrop program. That's with a campaign which is still ongoing. We've launched trading services of Mini, Cream, CFP, DF, Ring, and Katon. Loads of new coins which are being listed, and all of which have value, but how much value they have is up to you, obviously. So always do your own research at every time. Don't just buy it based on the hype of what's going on. The best thing which I like to do personally when I see this whole DeFi hype coming by, is actually doing nothing and just reading about it. And then chances are, like the longer you spend, the more time you spent in any traditional market or finance market, if you see any hype come by, sometimes you can jump on a trend and it can serve you well. But I decided to do nothing, and that's paid off in the sense that, I just did a lot of reading and a lot of research. So then now everything's gone back down and crashed, and as a matter of fact, BTC happened to go down. That's given me an opportunity. Like if I want to get into any project because I believe in it, I could invest in it a long time. There are some projects like Balancer and let's see, Balancer TRB, Teller token. These were hyped and they were bought based on the supply. Balancer has a very interesting value proposition as a smart contract, as a DeFi protocol. So there are some coins which you discover afterwards that they have a certain value, but generally it's good. I like to keep myself on the sidelines and read about it a little bit more. We've launched perpetual contract trading on SUSHI, settled in USDT. We've been ranked number 1 again. Actually, I think we've been kicked off the number 1 list for the top 100 exchanges by cybersecurity rating. I think Big One or Bigoni, I have no idea how to pronounce it because I've never heard of them. They are now on the top number 1 list. Let me just check that out. That's interesting to see. Let's see. Yeah, they are. Yeah, they're number 1. But no worries. We've still got a super great number 2 position. And we're still above all the other mainstream exchanges because obviously we hold security to a super high standard. With the interest of our users being protected. Not your keys, not your coins is an interesting statement. Much more important is how do you protect yourself? How do you make sure that no one accesses your passwords, your private keys at home, the wallets you use? Are you sure you know how to use them? We've published some articles about it. These are super interesting to read. Maybe I'll retweet them. Because they have some really valid and super interesting content in them. I'm sidetracking a little bit. One sec, where was I? So yeah, about the no longer being the number 1 position, but we're number 2, and that's still a very impressive place to be on the top 100 list. So we've launched 2 sessions of GT lockup and earn. So we're doing liquidity mining with GT. These were sold out very quickly. I'm talking about like under a minute. The first one was under a minute. The second one was under a half an hour. Annual interest rate of up to 50 to 200%. So there's another one launching, I think, in 2 days. Definitely keep your eye out for that. We've done a strategic partnership with Travala, which is super cool because now besides the major crypto assets such as BTC, Ethereum, EOS, which people can use to book hotels all over the world. People can now also use GT to book, which is really cool because if you don't want to use fiat or any other token, you can use GT. Do I know KGC? I think I do. Let me look that up for you. And then Krypton Galaxy, I think that's like a gaming token, no? I think it's a gaming token, but yeah, sure, feel free to talk to me more about it and mention it in the comments. I'll definitely look that up, maybe I'll even tweet about it. In the meantime, I'm going to continue whatever you can tell me about KGC. I think they were listed with us. They participated in a campaign when we were doing a promotion for the 7-year anniversary. So yeah, we've done new listings for Aegis, Oin Finance, which is DeFi on the Ontology network, liquidity mining for KIMCHI and SUSHI, as mentioned before. And these are the most significant ones. There's one last one. We will support the forking of the new chain NBS, which is BitShares. They've done a fork. We're going to support the fork of it. So all you have to do is leave your coins with us and wait till we halt the trading and we transition. Conduct the fork, and when you log in again, you'll be able to see your new BitShares tokens. We're going to finalize with some small crypto tips. We always do a little bit of reflection on what's good practice, what is not good practice. Well, what's not good practice is to go all in on sushi or all in on kimchi, right? Well, if you have the capital to do so, sure, why not? Arthur Hayes jokes around because he's joking, he's a troll. He's messing around by buying urine and saying it's going to go to 100K and doing yam and doing kimchi token, all while having a capital of how many millions. It doesn't really matter. If you're just regular folk like I am regular folk, I have to think very hard and long about where I'm going to put my funds, because I have a certain long-term perspective on where I want to invest. I would definitely not gamble. Other people have more gambling style. Everyone has their different style, right? But don't go all in on a coin which hasn't been audited, which is not very known, but your best friend and 100 of your best followers are saying, yeah, you should buy it. So on top of that, another thing I like to say is what goes down does not necessarily go up again. For example, in 2017, I was very interested in a Nebulous project, which I still think is a really great project, but in the time of the hype, that was about the height, just like many other coins. Nebulous was $10, and currently it's at 30 cents. So however much conviction you have and long-term perspective you have, you need to keep in mind that what goes down does not necessarily go up. However much value our token or Nebulous or any other token can have, if there's a new hype such as DeFi, means there's about 20 to 30 new coins in the top 100 coin market cap list, which have pushed out valid projects. Decred is currently at 73, or how high is it? But just as an example, these tokens, have a really good value proposition. The fundamentals are really great, but see, Decred is now 69. All right, that's good. I lost my track of thought. Yeah, so they get kicked out of the coin market cap list, and users, average users, long-term users, experienced users, they look at the 100 top 100 of the coin market cap list, and they're like, okay, that coin's not in there anymore, and there are other coins. It's a psychology bias that people invest in the coins which are in the top 20, top 100. If you're out of the top 100, it's hard to get back in. So what goes down does not necessarily go up again. There might be some really good projects which are going to die, but that will all prove in due time, due to the real world partnerships they're going to do and the value proposition of what they're doing. In the end, you need a working product. If you're on an exchange with a token, a utility token, which serves a certain purpose in the ecosystem, and you have designed an infrastructure around your token, you're going to need a real world implementation. If not, you're going to get kicked out and that price is going to drop. So as an investor, that's something to keep in mind about. Then another one I like is the perceived cheapness of a coin, which is always an interesting, controversial topic. Back in 2016, people were saying about Ripple, oh, Ripple is bullshit, and Ripple is not decentralized, it's pre-mined. But you could have had your own idea and perspective on why Ripple was interesting. Definitely going to keep that in mind. Buy some KGC, have a look into it. The future of this token is beyond ETH. This guy is super bullish. So that's something I'm going to look into. XRP was not popular in 2016 because, even back then, people were maximalist in nature, and they were saying, yeah, Ripple's bullshit, it's pre-mined, it's not decentralized. However, some people, could have just had a contrarian opinion and thought, okay, I don't really care if it's pre-mined or decentralized, but I'm going to buy some because I think in due time banks will adopt it, because banks are interested in making money, and they did, and they make a profit, right? And there was also a bull market, a parabolic bull market. So on the other hand, if you put it up as opposed to Ethereum or BTC, and you think, oh wow, Bitcoin's so expensive, Ethereum is expensive, and Ethereum has an unlimited supply, right? And Bitcoin is limited at 21 million, but it's 10K. Maybe it's better for me to buy Ethereum because I can buy more of it. But you should always look at the market cap, obviously at the fundamentals, the fact that BTC has first mover advantage, is the first in the ecosystem, and has the biggest ecosystem built around it. There are real world working products built around it. That's got to click into your head a little bit before you start buying XRP. If you remember, one of the first events they had was, I believe, was Swell, and everyone was looking forward to this event, and everyone was, buying into the story, and then hyping it up. One sec. Let's see, this is for me. But in the end, it wasn't really much of an announcement. It was like an anticlimax announcement. So even though you can buy more of it, look at the max supply. Consider that there are 50 billion Ripple, that the 589 USD meme might not come into fruition. But the opinions vary. I'm not saying you should buy either or. I'm saying it should not be a reason to determine if you want to buy a coin. Look at fundamentals, the working product, the teams, the devs, how active they are on GitHub, all this kind of stuff. These things are much more important than checking how cheap a coin is. That's what I wanted to say. So I want to thank Mr. KGC, Krypton contributor, who's been shilling his coin. I'm definitely going to look into it. If anyone has any questions at this moment in time, feel free to answer. It's not been a very busy live stream. Hopefully it will gain some traction next week. Hope everyone has a good week, and feel free to reach out to me on Twitter at Patrick Velleman. That's my handle, and otherwise on LinkedIn or Telegram. You can find me just by typing in my name. Everyone have a good week, and stay safe and trade safe, and trust me, you can wealth freedom. All right, Mr. Bullish Krypton, I'm going to check that out. Have a great week. Thanks for your contribution, and bye everyone.